Hi, I'm Naridhan, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can create fire with some smoke and show you how easy you can create fire in Niagara system. So without any further ado, let's begin. You remember in last video what we have done, we create some smoke very easily, right? And we're gonna use that knowledge that we learned from this playlist of videos about Niagara system and material playlist and create this fire. So for creating that, let's just go to content drawer. In last video we create this material smoke and create this Niagara emitter smoke, and now let's just create another Niagara emitter, new emitter on a empty emitter because you want to learn something, right? So we should do it from scratch. Hit finished, and in here I want to call it NE fire, NE for Niagara emitter, okay? NE for Niagara emitter and NS for Niagara system, right? So double click on it and open it here. So in last video what we have done, I did show you how you can create your smoke. And in that video, what we have done, we start with Niagara emitter, and after that we create an material for that. No, let's just first start with creating a material here for our fire. I want to call it M fire, for M for material, okay? I'll click on it, and with that, you know that our fire should has some light, right? So we need to connect our material with emissive color. So for doing that, click on it. So in our material, we need it to be translucent, so we have access to opacity and emissive color. So click on your material here and change the blend mode to translucent, right? So now you have access to emissive color and opacity. What I want to use in here in starter content, if you go to textures, you can see there are some texture that I want to use this one, okay? It's like fire, right? So that's how you are going to create your fire, right? So the difference between this sub UV texture from the last video is that it doesn't have alpha channel. So I want to show you how you can use red channel as an alpha channel. You know it from playlist of videos about material. Wherever there is white will be 1, and wherever there is black will be 0. So we can use this red channel as opacity. So for doing that, let's just go to content drawer again and drag and drop it over here. Now we have our texture sample. If we connect the RGB to emissive color, and let's just change this to plain, and you can see it right now, it doesn't have any opacity. So let's just use red channel as opacity, so we have some opacity here, right? And you can see it's cool, right? It's working fine. But for using it with Niagara system and Niagara emitter, you should add particle color, okay? We talk about it a lot in last video. So for emissive color, we should multiply it by the color of this particle color. So search for multiply and multiply it by this, and after that connect it to emissive color. So with this particle color, we can change the color of our material in our Niagara system or Niagara emitter, right? We want to do it for the alpha as well. So in this case we are using red channel, so let's just multiply this one as well by the alpha channel of this particle color. Let's just connect it to here and the opacity, and that's all we need to do for this sub UV texture and this material for our fire. So let's just apply and save it. Now that we save it, let's just go to our emitter fire in here. In a sprite renderer, I want to change that to our fire material that we just create. We can just drag and drop it from here. We have this M fire. Let's just drag and drop it here. Nothing will be shown here because we didn't spawn anything, okay? So let's just go to emitter update and choose a spawn rate, okay? And in here I want to choose something like 20, okay? Now you can see we spawn all the images, okay? Like we did it in last video. Let's just go to a sprite renderer in here. Let's just collapse everything so you can see it clearly. We want to go to sub UV in here and change it to 6x6, right? 6x6, because it's tile set of 6x6 images, right? And we wanted this blending enabled, so the last frame and the next frame will be blend together and it will look cooler. Right off the bat, let's just go to particle update, and in here add animation for our sub UV, okay? We did talk about this sub UV a lot in last video, and in here I want it to be linear from 0 because we have 36 frame. We want to put 35, so it will start from 0 to 35, and you can see it here clearly. So for it to look better, let's just go to a spawn rate, decrease this to something like 8, and that's a lot better, I think. So next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to initialize particle and change the life mode. You can see the life mode is too much right now. So how we can change that? We wanna first of all randomize it. You know it by now that randomize everything will look cooler always. So let's just randomize it by random range float. Okay, so between something like 1 and 2 I think is cool, right? And no, it's look more like fire, right? Next thing, I want to set the color in here, so let's just set direct set. I want to change the red channel to be something like 40. We want some green as well, like 4 for example. And no, it's more look like fire, so 0 for blue, and I think 1 was good. Okay, no, it's more look like fire. Next thing to do, I want to define a shape, so our particle spawn from that shape. Okay, we always do that, so click on this particle spawn and search for shape. Okay, and the one that I want to do is shape location. But if you search for location, you can see you can do it for a static mesh and a skeletal mesh as well. It will look cool on a skeletal mesh. So let's say you have a character that you want to have fire on their shoulder, right? But for now, let's just use shape location and a sphere, and you can see how it look like. I want to change the radius of these to something like 5. Okay, now it's look more natural, right? No, next thing that I'm gonna do, like always do, let's just add some velocity to it. Okay, so add velocity, and let's just head fix, so it adds stall force and velocity, and you can see it. It's cool, right? So let's just play with that. I want to randomize this velocity as well, so let's just change it to random range vector. I want to change the z to be from 50 to, for example, 200, and no, that's not cool. So let's just decrease this to 100. And that's not cool at all. So 50, 75, you should play with that, right? 25 to 50. No, it's look better, I think. Let's just decrease that to 50 and 30. It's better, right? So next thing, you know it, we add some force to our smoke as well. Let's just add some force to this fire as well. Okay, so let's just in particle update search for a force. This time let's just use vector noise force. Okay, and 200, I think that's cool, right? You can see there are some randomness here. Let's just decrease that to 115, and you can see I think it's better, right? Let's just decrease that to 100. Okay, and I think that's cool, right? Everything is looking cool. We make it as easy as it can get, right? Next thing to do, you can see when the fire goes away from the source, we want to change the alpha of that. We want to change the opacity of that. Okay, so for doing that, let's just add an scale color. We did talk about all of these modules and parameters a lot in my videos about Niagara system. Just watch those, you know what this scale color does. I don't want to change the color, so let's just deselect that, and I want to change the alpha, and I want to use a curve for that. So at the end of its particle life, the opacity should be lower, right? So let's just click in here, and what I'm gonna do, let's just search for curve. Okay, float from curve is more than enough, and what I want to do, I want to use this template here. So at the time 0 it will be 1, and at the time 1 it will be 0, right? So let's just bring it down here like this, and I think that's much cooler, right? So let's just bring it here a little bit so it fade away sooner. Now let's just add color as well in here, color. Okay, and again in here I want to change the color 44, I think, and that's cool. Everything is looking cool, right? We have our fire, and I think that's cool, right? We did it fast, and you can play with all of these parameter and test it out, right? Now we have our fire. Let's just create a system off of this fire and add some smoke to it, right? Remember in last video we create this smoke. Okay, that looks cool, right? Let's just add them together so we have a cool effect, right? So for doing that, let's just go to content drawer, and in here I want to create a Niagara system, create empty system. We add something to it, and as for Niagara system, and I want to call it fire. Okay, now let's just hit Ctrl Shift S to save everything. So now let's just open up our system, and let's just go to content drawer, dock it like this, and add fire. And after that, let's just add that smoke as well. Okay, and right now you can see we have 2 emitter in this system. I want to reposition them so I can see both of them in my window, right? So in here you can see the smoke is a lot bigger than our fire. Okay, what we can do about that, we can change the size of our fire. Okay, so for doing that, I want to go to initialize particle, and in sprite I want to change the size mode to something like random uniform. Okay, and I want to change it to something 250 and 350. Okay, and I think that should look that's better, right? That it has a smoke and it has fire as well. Now if we go to our level, we can add that fire in here. Okay, let's just bring it up a little bit. Hit G on your keyboard so you can see it clearly. Our fire is cool. Let's just change something in our fire in here in our system, right? So let's just add more velocity to it, like 30 to 60. Oh, let's just make it more, 50 to 100. I think that's cool, right? So let's just save it, and now you can see it's a lot better now. Now our fire is finished and we can use it everywhere that we want, right? In future video I will show you how you can have some ember on it, so those particles that will pop up. Okay, so in future video we will add to this fire and make it a lot cooler and realistic. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna show you, I want to show you how you can change the color of this fire from in our level. Okay, I want to use the user exposed variable. Let's just create one. I want to search for color. Okay, and I did talk about these parameters a lot. Just watch my videos about a Niagara system playlist of videos, right? So let's just click on this linear color. I want to call it fire color. Okay, and let's just go to this color and drag and drop this to this color, and by default it should be white, and you can see it is white. So for given it a default value, you can just select on these user parameters and change this like before, 44, and that's cool, right? So if we go now to our level, hit G on your keyboard so you can select your Niagara system in here. Now you can see on our right parameter, you can double click in here and change the color of our fire, and you can see it's a lot cool, right? So let's just make it green, 40 for green. It's cool, right? Red be 4 for example, and blue to be 4 as well. And now you can see we have a green cool fire, right? That's a lot cool. You can play with this system. It's a lot cooler than you think. I will do a lot of cool things for you, and you can see how easy you can create a cool effect like fire in your game. I hope you like this video. Please, 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 if you want to help me, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's my honor to have you here. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.